Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Siobhan, and if you've been here before, welcome back. I appreciate your continued support. So I had a comment on one of my recent videos from Dr. Trupoved. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. I'll put it up here. But it said, please make more videos about skincare products and how you care for your skin or hair. You look amazing. So thank you. So before I start, the first thing I want to say is that like 80% of my good skin and hair is from good genetics. And that's just realistic. Everybody is going to have a predisposition to something based on their genetics. That being said, the other 20%, I do definitely have things that I do to take care of my skin and hair. So I kind of have my products laid out in front of me. I know a lot of times when YouTubers do this, they like take you into the bathroom and go through their routine. I don't, for one, I don't have space for filming in my bathroom. My bathroom is very tiny. If the lighting in here seems not great, the lighting in there is atrocious and orange. So, I'm just going to go through it. And if you have any questions afterwards, feel free to leave questions down below, and I'll definitely go through and answer them. If there are a lot of questions, I can always make a follow-up video. As far as products, I do want to say also, the products that I use, I'm going to go over and say what I use, but brand is not necessarily required. I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. So the first thing that I do take the Halo Beauty vitamins. So these ones are the ones that came out that are just strictly for skin. And so this is the Kiwi Seed Booster. I think that, so I bought 2 bottles to see how I like them. This one obviously is pretty close to gone. I do also have probably a week's worth at work. Just I leave them there so that I remember to take them at work if I forget before I leave the house. But I think that I'm going to switch back to the original Halo Beauty that is for hair, skin, and nails, because I had noticed when I was taking that I have keratosis on my arms, which is just like the little bumps. And that had gone almost completely away. And also I wasn't having issues with my nails peeling. And since I switched to this, the keratosis, while it hasn't come back super bad, it has come back a little bit, which is interesting since this is supposed to be for skin specifically. So I thought that it might actually make it even better. Again, it's body chemistry, I'm sure, but I do take these. This is the only sort of multivitamin type thing that I take. So some of this is in boxes because my Dermalogica is in boxes because I had bought a set, like a small set that I was using, and they're almost gone, and I didn't want to open the large ones until the small ones were gone. I just was trying to empty those. But I've been using these for quite a while. So this is the pre-cleanse. I usually use the pre-cleanse balm. This one is just an oil. And if I'd been thinking about it, I would have brought it in. But it's not really anything to show. It's just a clear oil. I use this anytime I'm wearing makeup to take my makeup off. I also, if my skin is particularly dry, I will put a little bit of it on just before I go in to wash my face, just because it feels nice. So I start out with this. I do a double cleanse. So then I use the special cleansing gel from Dermalogica. I love this. This is amazing. Anytime I have felt like my skin was kind of getting gross and I've gone back to this, it's been great. So as far as these products, I do recommend Dermalogica. However, I will say that if you have found something good from the drugstore or something else that works for you, you don't need to get Dermalogica. They are expensive. If you are going to get them and you don't want to spend full price for them, keep an eye out at Ulta. They have stuff that goes on sale. They have every 6 months or every year, they have like a skincare month. And so when I got these, I actually got them, I think, for close to half price, like 40% off for the set. It is my favorite cleanser. But again, there are a lot of cleansers out there. There are a lot of cleansers from the drugstore. So do I love these ones? Yes. Are they necessary? Absolutely not. As far as a pre-cleanse balm, I do, if you wear makeup, especially if you wear a full face of makeup, I really strongly recommend using a double cleanse. If I have a lot of makeup on, I will first use the Bioderma. This is my favorite micellar water. This is one item. So I use the HydraBio. I've also used the SensiBio. This is the one item that I will unequivocally say this is the best brand there is. I've used a lot of micellar waters, and Bioderma just works better than anything else that I've used. And the cost difference, really, there's not much of one. This is a 500 ml or 16.7 fluid ounce bottle. And this bottle, I think it was $14 on Amazon, but it's twice what I would get in a bottle of like the Say Yes To brand of micellar waters. So Bioderma for micellar water. So I'll just use that to get off any sort of like cakiness that I have on. If there's something like if I'm wearing a really stubborn waterproof eye makeup, I'll use that first. Even though the oil will generally get rid of that, I just feel more comfortable if I'm getting off as much as I can and then going in with the oil, so that I know that the oil is really taking the time to penetrate everything and get down to like my pores. So I do that, and then I use the pre-cleanse, the special cleansing gel. I do use the special cleansing gel, so this is not obviously a cleansing head that's on here, but I have actually 2 Clarisonics. So this one I usually keep my skincare stuff on. So this is the Mia Smart. This is the one that just came out last year. And then I have just a regular, I think it's the Mia 2. And that one is the one that I use for cleanser. It's wet because I obviously just got out of the shower. When I got out of the shower, I washed my face. So I didn't want to bring the wet one in here. So I use this to wash my face generally at night when I'm taking my makeup off. I don't use a Clarisonic in the morning. And I'm going to be real honest here. In the morning, I would say 80% of the time, maybe more, I just use a makeup wipe. I'm not good about getting up in general, so I'm definitely not good about taking time to wash my face in the morning. So I always make sure that I wash my face really well before I go to bed, so that when I wake up in the morning, I'm just wiping off like sweat and dead skin cells from the night before. So from there, once my face is clean, I use the Clinique Clarifying Lotion. So any toner that you have that you like will work. I happen to like Clinique, and it goes on sale. Toner just sort of takes off any residue that's left and just gets your skin ready to be able to absorb any products. So I put on my toner next. I just wipe it down with either a cotton ball or a cotton pad. And then I immediately go in with my serums. So a couple of these are going to be familiar if you saw my project pan. But this is from The Ordinary. And this is the Argiline 10% solution. I feel like I say that wrong too, but I've never heard anyone else say it, so I have no idea. But this is just very thin. So I'll try to put a dot on the back of my hand if this will zoom in. So it's like water thin. So I put that on anywhere that I have wrinkles or lines. So I make sure that I get the lines that are up here and here, and then around my eyes, and then I'll just drip it down into my smile lines here. And then that's really all that I use that for. And then if you're not familiar with The Ordinary, they are a very inexpensive brand, and Sephora now carries them online. I get mine from Beautylish whenever it's stocked. This is the buffet. This is just sort of a catch-all serum. So this one is a little bit thicker. You can see in the dropper it's kind of white. So it is still a serum. It is still kind of runny, but I rub this on my entire face and let it soak in. It's not my favorite in the world. I have noticed that it makes my skin very soft and it helps with dry areas, but it also is kind of sticky. So for that reason, it's just not my absolute favorite. If you're doing something like this and you have serums, the rule of thumb is you always want to go from thinnest to thickest. So your thinnest serums are going to be first, and then any kind of lotions, and then if you have oils, you generally want them to be last. So the next thing that I use is Strivectin. And this is a face and neck tightening serum. And it is more of like a lotion. So it's like a really thin lotion. And this I don't use on my whole face. I use it on my neck and underneath my chin, and then a little bit up here. I don't want to put so many products on my face that it's uncomfortable, and this is one that if I was going to go without something, it would probably be this, because while this has its benefits, it's also not necessary. After I do that, I generally will wait a few minutes and let it kind of soak in, and then I will use a retinol. So this is the one, I did not realize how blinding this package is. So this is Strivectin. This is just the advanced night retinol. This one is more of like a lotion type. This one's actually in my bathroom. This isn't the one that I've been using lately. It's the one that I will go back to when these are gone and finish it. However, I have really, really enjoyed this. So I got a couple of just like little like premium samples of this, and this is the Sunday Riley Luna. And you can see it's like this very, well, maybe you can't really see. It's a very pretty sort of blue-green color. So when it goes on your skin, it does actually look very blue-ish. And then it just sort of rubs into nothing. I really, really liked this one. I have used, so I ended up like through various avenues with 3 of these. So this is my second one. And I've found that it has been so nice for my skin. I have noticed it really helping to like get rid of the dead skin cells and sort of resurface. So between these two, if I was going to pay for one, because they are probably pretty comparable in price, I would probably go for the Sunday Riley. The Strivectin you can sometimes find other places. So sometimes they'll have it in like TJ Maxx. Just if you're going to get it somewhere like that, make sure that you check somewhere on this box. I think it's underneath the sticker. Yeah. There's a sticker on here, but so on the bottom of this box, it has like a little imprinted number right here that you probably won't really be able to see. But if you can just see that there is like an indent there. So there's generally a number like that on any products. It's a requirement by the FDA, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, so there's even like one on the bottom of like little sample things. So there are websites that you can go to where you can put that in and it will let you know when that item was manufactured. Definitely recommend it if you're shopping somewhere that is more of like a bargain store. So, and I recommend that for makeup too, just because it has not been unheard of that there are things like, if you watch Jen Love's reviews at all, there was one person who kept sending her an update on a store that had a foundation that was well out of its like shelf life, still on the shelf for sale in a regular like store. So it's something that's always kind of worth checking, but definitely if you're in any kind of a wholesale store, check to make sure. Though I did buy some Strivectin. Actually, I think I might have bought this one in TJ Maxx, and I checked, and it had only been manufactured like 3 months before, so I'm guessing that they just had a run of stuff where they produced too much. So anyway, I put on my retinol. I usually wait 5 or 10 minutes before I do anything after that to make sure that it has a chance to completely absorb in my skin. Like, this feels very gone, but it's one item that I want to make sure it goes as deep as possible. So generally, after I do that, I will go in and I will use this. So this end that's on here. So if you have the Mia Smart or one of the newer ones, I don't know if the previous generation, like the larger one, if you could set it up with Bluetooth, but this one you can set up different routines based on which head you have on here. So this is the massaging head, which is just like you get in here. This is something that I don't know how well the camera is picking it up, but if you're doing this in the other room and somebody hears it, it might sound like you're doing something questionable. So if you're worried about that, you might just want to let people know, or maybe just carry it out into the living room with you. But this is really nice, and it helps down here. I've definitely noticed in here, and even like right here where you can kind of start to see some cheek definition, this has helped with that. I do feel like it makes a difference with how well my serums soak in. So after that, and after I wait for a bit, then I go in with like my one Holy Grail product. And when I say Holy Grail product, I mean that if everything prior to this I had to get rid of to only be able to use this, I would. Because this is the best product I've ever put on my skin. And it's expensive and it's worth it. So if your birthday happens to have not passed yet and you are signed up for the Sephora VIB, one of the things that is available for the birthday gift is a trial size of this. I say get it. Get the Drunk Elephant. Anytime they have any like points, rewards, things for Drunk Elephant, it's always what I opt for. So this is the Proteini polypeptide. I've talked about this before, and this is incredible. So it's in an airless pump. So you can't see it, but inside here there's a pump that's going up. It's like, you can't see that one either. Oh, here, and this has an airless pump. So you can see on here, this bottom piece in here, this lifts up as the product comes out. So airless, I'm pretty sure that all of the Drunk Elephant products have airless pumps. And airless pumps really do the best at getting out all of the product. So I'm going to take out just a little bit of this. So it is a thicker product. And so the first time that I used this, you can see on my hand here, I have, maybe you can see, sort of like this little freckle right here. So that little freckle was like a raised dry patch of skin, and it had been there for a while. And I had gone to the doctor, I had had her look at it. She had measured it just so that we could watch it and make sure that it wasn't anything that was serious. And I was in Sephora and I was like, I'm going to put a little bit of this on there and I'm going to see what it does. And if it does anything for it by tomorrow morning, then I'll come back and get this. And I put it on, and within 30 or 60 seconds, it had absorbed into that dry piece of skin and made it completely flat. And so I bought the whole bottle and I was amazed. I still am amazed every time I use this. It really, like, immediately, I don't know how well the camera is going to be able to pick this up because the back of my hands aren't terrible, but it immediately has like a blurring effect on the skin. It absorbs really well. It feels nice. It has like a little bit of a moisturizer smell, but it has very little scent to it at all. And it's incredible. I don't know what kind of voodoo is in this stuff, but it is one product that I will always make sure I have. Also, if you don't have any of these products, if you don't have access to any of them, if you don't want to use any of them, if you just like to splash your face with water at the end of the night and call it good, drink lots of water. Water is incredible. It's something that, at least in most modern cities, we definitely take for granted, and it's something we shouldn't take for granted. We should certainly be more conscious of drinking water and aware that it's not always available for everybody. Bottled water certainly isn't necessary, but I do recommend filtered water. I strongly recommend drinking water. It's going to help if you have acne. It's going to help if you have dry skin. It's going to help if you have oily skin. Whatever issues you have, water is going to help. Also, I used to have very oily skin. If you have oily skin, moisturize. You don't necessarily have to use the products that I recommend. You can find something that is much more like a gel consistency if you don't like something thick, but moisturize. I was always kind of under the impression that because I had oily skin, I shouldn't add more to it. And it wasn't until I saw a doctor who told me that that is very counterproductive, that the reason that your skin generally is making more oil is because it's trying to moisturize itself. So it's just a good idea to always moisturize whatever your skin type. You just might have to find a moisturizer that works for your specific skin type. So as far as like my general skincare, that was a lot, but that is my basic general skincare. As far as just sort of extra things, this is the Soap and Glory T-Zone Detox Scrub. This used to be called Scrub Your Nose in it, and it came in a pink tube. So if you ever used that and you were sad that they discontinued it, this is the exact same thing. So I use this maybe once a week. I'll use it to just kind of like scrub my T-zone and through here, on my cheeks or anywhere that it's like really dry, because it does have like little granules in it. So it is a physical exfoliant. But you can also leave it on like a mask. So anytime I have any kind of acne coming through, this goes on it. It stays on it for generally like, I'll leave it for like 3 to 5 minutes and then wipe it off before I wash my face. So it helps a lot with that. If you have a lot of acne, or if acne is something that is a significant issue for you, I would definitely just like test it on one small spot. I wouldn't try and put it all over your face the first time. I do also use benzoyl peroxide. Like I just have a tube of just straight benzoyl peroxide lotion. I think it's like 1% or whatever. I don't have it with me. I didn't even think to grab it because I don't use it very often. I just keep it in my medicine cabinet. But if I can feel that I have like acne that's under the skin, like right here is where I usually get it. But if I have something, like if I can feel right here and it's that painful, like I know that I'm going to be getting acne right there, I will put benzoyl peroxide on it before I do anything else. After I wash my face in the morning or like just wipe my face down, I will put benzoyl peroxide on it, and I'll generally use it twice a day. And usually that takes care of any acne I have in a day or two. And often anything that's deeper under the skin won't ever even come to the surface. Again, I realize that I am blessed with good skin genetics, so that might not work for other people. I'm sure that it doesn't work for lots of people, because if it was that easy for everybody, nobody would have the issues with acne that they do. But it is something that if you don't get acne very often, it does help. So something else that I do probably once a week, this is just a bubble mask. This one is Botanic Farm Mineral Pop Sparkling Bubble Pack. So it's just like one of the regular, like I've seen these in lots of different forms, but it comes out like a gel, and then you kind of spread it out and leave it, and as you leave it, it just will bubble up. It oxygenates the skin, so it helps clean out the pores. So you can see it's kind of starting to come through there. So it feels really nice on the skin. I got this one, I want to say for like $5. It was on clearance at Ulta, but you can usually find them on Amazon for relatively inexpensive. There are a lot of K-Beauty and J-Beauty brands that have them, and I always buy them. So this is like my third brand, because I just always get whatever I can find that's inexpensive. But I always try to get them in this fashion, because this will probably end up lasting me 6 months if I'm using it once a week, as opposed to buying sheet masks, which this cost me the amount of maybe 2 sheet masks. So it just lasts, so you can see more now where it's nice and bubbly. So it just lasts, and then I'm just gonna grab a makeup wipe. So there's one last thing for skincare. I get pretty big under eye bags and discoloration. So this is just another piece for another attachment for the Clarisonic. So these are made again with some sort of voodoo product. But this metal always feels cold, no matter how warm it is in my house. And so this just goes like under the eye here, and then up across the brow bone, and it feels so nice. Even right now, it's like ice cold, and it just came out of my other bathroom. So I use this one also. This one I love to use right before I do my makeup. It just sort of helps take some of that puffiness down. My hair is actually pretty easy to go over. I love that I have my hair up in a towel while I'm doing this. So a few things about my hair. First of all, I use a scalp scrub. So the one that I use this is Christoph Robin. This is, again, the mini, because this is empty. So having empties is part of what made me decide to do this right now, because I was cleaning out the shower. But this is, it smells nice. This definitely smells a little more fragranced. I'm trying to see if it has any, specifically has fragrance. Yeah, it does actually have fragrance as an additive. So if you don't like added fragrances, I don't recommend this one. I've tried others since I started using this. IGK makes one that is like a walnut and sea salt scrub, which works fine. I would be just as good with recommending that one as this one. I used the HC View, the one that has, it's Himalayan salt and apple cider vinegar. I've only used that one once, so, because I just got like a sachet sample. So for the one time it was fine. It smells very strongly of apple cider vinegar. So if you do not like the smell of vinegar, do not get that one, because you won't, it doesn't smell nice. The smell of vinegar doesn't really bother me. Like, I don't love it, but it does seem to go away when you get out of the shower. One of the things that I loved about the Christoph Robin one is that it made my hair feel so soft and nice afterwards. I do only shampoo down to like the end, like I shampoo like this far into my hair. So I shampoo my scalp and then just like a few inches up. Anywhere that it's going to be laying against my scalp and really get those oils, I shampoo there really well. And then I just let the water run through it. I don't shampoo the rest of my hair, because the rest of my hair doesn't need to be stripped of natural oils. This is my favorite shampoo. This is the one shampoo that I always have, because it is the one that I will use. Sometimes I will cleanse my head twice and use this one first and then use whatever else after, because this one I find really helps with if I have any kind of oily scalp or dry scalp or whatever. Like, this just seems to be really good for pH balance. I like it. This one also, I just used the end of this one when I was in the shower. I don't know what it was about this shower that was like the end of everything. So I do that. I condition with whatever conditioner is the flavor of the day. Conditioners get changed so often, and it's just because I find that I like a conditioner for 3 or 4 washes, and then I'll want something different, or I'll feel like it makes my hair kind of like greasy or whatever. So I have been using this. This I got this in an Ipsy. This is the Mark Anthony, and it's a Bye Bye Frizz. So I just used the end of this also. Seriously, like, I used the end of everything that I was using while I was in the shower. This smells really nice. It's sort of like a thick conditioner cream. This works to make my hair not frizzy. I just take like generally like a nickel size. So I take like a 1-inch circle. That's still, I'm trying to find a not strictly American term. I take like the center of my palm. So about that much, and just like flatten out a lot, and then I rub it between my hands and then just like rub it through my hair, and then I'll sometimes take a little bit of extra and put at the ends. But this is by far the best defrizzing product I've ever found for my hair type. So if you have hair, like I have a lot of hair, but my individual strands of hair are very thin. So a big part of what makes it frizzy is just that it's not weighted down. So it's not necessarily like curl frizz. It's, I don't know. This just helps. If you have frizzy hair and you've never found anything else that helps, I recommend trying it. It's pretty inexpensive and it works really well. So this is the last thing that I use in my hair. This is the Briogeo Don't Despair Repair. And this is just, it's a leave-in conditioner. Again, I just use it on like the bottom half, so towards the ends. So the part that doesn't get washed is the part that gets this. I don't brush my hair when it's wet, ever. I rarely use heat products, so those are things that definitely help. Obviously, I am not particularly kind to my hair when it comes to chemical treatments, because I have bleached all of it, and now I bleach the roots as it grows to be able to make it new different colors. So it's important that I be able to keep it healthy one of the things that I will attribute being able to bleach my hair so much and keep it healthy is Olaplex. And if you've never heard of Olaplex, it is... So if I was going to say there was only one hair product that I could have of all of these, and everything else had to be the least expensive drugstore product ever until the end of time, I would not give up Olaplex. This can also be pricey. This bottle is relatively small. And it's because when you see it on like Sephora or something, it's hard to tell what size it is. So it's a pretty small bottle. It's 100 ml or 3.3 fluid ounces. This, for the length of my hair, which is about a third of the way down my back now, this is like 5 treatments. And what I do is I put it, generally I will take a shower, I will get out of the shower, I will put it on my hair, and I put it in all of my hair. Like, I'll let my hair get a little more damp than it is right now because I've been out of the shower for a while. I've been recording for like an hour. But I'll put this through all of my hair, and then I'll just put on a plastic shower cap and leave it on generally for at least an hour. I've gone to sleep with it on before. It's not something that is it's not a chemical, so it's not going to hurt your hair if you leave it in. It's also not a conditioner, so it is a bond treatment. So it's actually repairing the bonds in your hair and sealing up this, blah, blah, blah. I can make words. And sealing up the cuticles. So I love this. I will say that my next shampoo and conditioner that I'm going to try, Olaplex has now come out with a shampoo and conditioner. They brought it out last year, and I was waiting until this was empty and the other shampoo that I was using with that. And I was also using a lot of purple shampoos and conditioners just for the purple hair that was mixed in there. So it's taken a while to get through the other products that are in there, but I will be buying the shampoo and conditioner and trying them next. At Sephora, I think they're $28 each. But even at $28 each, when you break that down into 5 uses, that's less than $6 a use. I don't wash my hair every day. I wash my hair like once a week, sometimes twice a week. It does get washed more in the summer when I'm getting sweaty. But in the winter, when it's already prone to be more dry, I generally, Sunday nights are the nights that I wash my hair. So if I am getting in the shower, I'll let it get wet, but I won't actually wash it. And sometimes I will even, if I've noticed that the top isn't kind of getting gross, which I'm going to take this out because it's falling off. But if I've noticed that the top isn't getting gross, I will just condition like from here down and then rinse it out, and I won't wash it. But I always wash it once a week just to make sure that my scalp stays clean. But I don't, every other day is the most that I ever wash it. And again, I don't brush it or comb it or do anything with it while it's wet, which is why I have so many videos where I have wet hair, because I tend to take a shower and then wash my face and then want to do videos. So I strongly discourage anybody from combing or brushing their hair when it's wet if you don't have to, because it will break your hair. It doesn't matter what kind of hair you have. Your hair is most vulnerable when it's wet. So you're going to have some breakage, and I just recommend not doing it because it's better for you. Yeah, so that's really it. I do sleep with a satin pillowcase. Again, you can get them at TJ Maxx for like $7 or 2 for $12, or you can get them from Amazon. Get them pretty much anywhere. But a satin pillowcase, which is better for your skin as well. I am a stomach sleeper, and so I feel like my face should, like, I know that it's better for my skin, and I figure I may as well do everything that I can for my skin, including making sure that I'm sleeping on something that's not harsh rubbing up against it. I always make sure that I wash my hands before I put makeup on. Always wash your hands before you put makeup on. If you are somewhere and you can't wash your hands, if you have hand sanitizer, use hand sanitizer, use a makeup wipe, do whatever you can, because any bacteria that's on your hands is going onto your face, and that's just, it's going to cause problems for your skin. I make sure that I keep my makeup brushes clean. My foundation brush is the one that is probably the hardest to consistently keep clean, and I also find that foundation brushes generally work better the second or third time you use them because they already have some makeup absorbed into them, so they get less streaky. But even with that, I try not to let it go too long, and I will spray them with alcohol. So if you're not able to wash your brushes, then I recommend having alcohol that you can use. 90% alcohol evaporates pretty quickly, so that'll work for like cleaning it. But if you want to sanitize them, then I recommend 70% alcohol. But yeah, I think that's that. That is my skincare and hair routine, which takes about 1/10 of the amount of time that it takes to tell somebody what it is. So I feel like when I'm talking about it, it seems like there are a lot of steps in what I do with my skin. It doesn't feel like a lot of steps if you take out the time in between. Actually, even with the time, so if you include the time in between that I leave the bathroom and walk around and do whatever, you know, take my dog out, do whatever else I need to do in between while I'm waiting for products to kind of like soak into the skin, I would say from like starting to wash my face to being completely done, including using any tools that I use, maybe 20 minutes. So if you cut out waiting for things to soak in and using the Clarisonic, probably 10 minutes. And if you're just gonna wash your face and put on moisturizer and cut out all of the in-between things, it's still going to take you 5 minutes to really wash your face very well and get all of the makeup off if you're wearing makeup. If I'm not wearing makeup, it's like 60 seconds to wash my face and then, 5 minutes to do everything else combined. So it's not something that is as daunting as it seems, and it's something that has a lifetime of positive effects. I know this is going to be really long, so if you're still here, I appreciate it. If you've stayed this long and you haven't subscribed yet, you should go ahead and subscribe. Ring the bell, because subscribing doesn't do much unless you ring the bell, apparently. I don't know, YouTube. But yeah, I hope that I have given some helpful information. If you have any questions about any of the products that I use, or you want me to go in depth about anything, also leave that down in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. But otherwise, I thank you for being here. I hope that you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Bye.